cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
How we all doing there, folks? I am in a festive as fuck Christmas mood. I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet. I know you're supposed to wait until Black Friday to start being in the... fuck it. Thanksgiving's gay anyways, okay? Thanksgiving's not a real thing. I'm in a festive as fuck Christmas mood right now, I gotta tell you. I am all ready to go. All ready to go. I got basically everything bought. I mean, there's maybe one or two little things that I'm going to get. But I am in a festive as fuck Christmas mood, I got to tell you. It's like, okay, yeah, Thanksgiving is fine. It's fine, I guess. Whatever, who cares? But no, man, next Friday, this coming Friday, Black Friday, I put up the tree. And then from there on out, for over a month, it's just Christmas. It's just straight up Christmas out the ass for me. I love it. Can't wait. And I nailed it this year with gifts. I nailed it. I absolutely fucking nailed it. Everybody's going to open the gifts I got them, and they're going to be amazed, and I'm going to be like, yay, I win Christmas. That's because I'm downright competitive about it. I'm going to get you a better gift than you get me if you're my loved one. I'm going to get you a better gift than you. Somebody could almost get me the most perfect gift, and I'd open it up and I'd be like, you motherfucker. you beat me. But no, I am downright competitive about it. And I nailed it this year. I knocked it the fuck out of the park with my closest friends and with my dad, which is it's like my three closest friends and my dad is about 90% of my Christmas shopping. Like once I get that done, then it's like, go into the outer circles and get shit done and all. But that's the big stuff. Because every Christmas Eve, I have a tradition. Every Christmas Eve. I know Bechtloff has a tradition, but see, it's okay because it's my tradition. I know I'm not a big tradition guy, but I'm big on my traditions. I just don't like tradition for its own sake, because that's just peer pressure from dead people as far as I'm concerned. But my personal tradition for Christmas, every Christmas Eve, my dad and my three closest friends, and me, obviously, we all head to an hibachi grill here in town. It kind of started years and years ago. My dad and I went there because we just, it was like, we didn't feel like cooking. What's open Christmas Eve? So, we never been to this hibachi grill. We've been wanting to do that. And then, just kind of more... my friends got invited. Next thing you know, that's a Christmas tradition. Christmas Eve, hibachi grill. And I don't know if you've ever been to a hibachi grill. Hibachi grills are the tits. First of all, Japanese food's great. Japanese food is just fantastic. But a hibachi grill, it's one of those things where the chef puts on the show, almost like he's flipping eggs up in the air and shit like that, and he's, he makes the little volcano out of the onions, lights it off, that kind of thing. Oh, but the food there's so good. It's great company, great food. That's usually when I exchange gifts with my buddies. Oh man, I nailed it. Most of my friends don't listen, so I could almost tell you guys. But just on the off chance they would listen, I don't want to. But most of the people that actually know me in meat space don't listen. My actual loved ones generally don't listen. Although I think I know one person who's listening tonight. Yeah, I know you're out there, B. I know you're listening. Anyways, but most of my friends, it's like, they listen to my dumbass talk all the time. Why the fuck they need to listen to it on YouTube? So I'd almost want to tell you guys because it's that fucking perfect. I hunted down obscure shit for them. It's perfect. Speaking of which, some of you fine folks might be like, you know what? I don't know what to get anybody. I don't know what to get anybody. So what I'm gonna do, and I should have thought to do it before this, but I'll leave a comment under this video once it's up later. But I have holiday shopping guides for geeks that I did in 2017 and 2018. I was gonna do one this year, but I just don't have enough new ideas for a whole video. But those videos are great because if you got geek friends can be very hard to shop for. So those are a few out of the box ideas. One of the biggest ideas I had, and it's because I'm a comic book geek, so I know this, but like, if you got a buddy that's into something, geeky about something, odds are you can find a fucking comic book based on it. Like, good ones, too. You know, if they like Star Trek, IDW does tremendous Star Trek comics right now. There's obviously been tons of Star Wars comics. Horror. Any horror franchise you can find comics based off of. You know, if they like old Nintendo games, get them. You know, they reprinted the Mario and Zelda comics from the old Nintendo Power recently. You get that for them. You know what I mean? You know, any sort of sci-fi property, any sort of fantasy property, any sort of horror property, things of that nature that a geek would be into, you probably find some really great comic books based off of it. Like collected in trade paperbacks that, you know, they could keep on their bookshelf. That's just a great idea. The other great idea I put laid out in those videos, and nobody thinks of this, but for geeks, Hallmark ornaments are pretty fucking bitchin'. You know, there's superhero ornaments, just all sorts of pop culture ornaments, that sort of thing. I mean, hell, I have a Predator ornament someone got me a couple years ago. The fucking Predator on my Christmas tree. That's rad. Somebody in the chat says, get your loved one some Steve's Jerky. Well, yes, you could absolutely do that. Steve's Jerky is very delicious. I had a few other ideas in those things, but yeah, that's I'll throw those videos in a comment down below for those of you trying to find something, because you know a lot of people have a hard time with Christmas shopping. I've never really had a hard time with it though. Now, part of the reason is I do it very, very early. Now, part of the reason I do it very, very early is because, again, you know, the bulk of my Christmas list is a bunch of my nerd friends. So, what better time to shop for them than in the summer, because I'm going to those various conventions. Just in the summer into the fall. You know, Comic Cons or retro game cons or something. That's where you find the oddball shit for people. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because it's good. My dad, the year I was born, there was a show on called Tales of the Gold Monkey. It was sort of like an Indiana Jones ripoff, I guess is the best way to quickly describe it. It didn't last that long, and it never really got it never got an official DVD release or anything like that, to the best of my knowledge. It's semi-lost media. You know, I think Obscurus Lupa did a video on it a couple years ago, but for the most part, no one even talks about it. But my dad loved that show when it was on. And, you know, he was in the middle of a show, and my mother's water broke, and he had to take her to the hospital and, you know, missed part of his show. So over the years, as I was growing up, he used to tease me a little bit. Obviously, you know, all in good fun. But he'd be like, you know, I missed my show for you. You know, they never reran it and all this other stuff. I missed Tales of the Gold Monkey for you. I'll have you know. Well, the one year, this was like 2006, I'm at Wizard World Philly. Maybe it was 2007. I don't know. Somewhere around mid-2000s. Somewhere in those godforsaken W years. Which were immediately followed by the godforsaken Obama years. But I'm at Wizard World in Philly, and a lot of times, especially at the Comic Cons, there's the guys selling bootleg DVDs. Usually of stuff you can't get properly on DVD. Like, that's how I have the 90s Spider-Man on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon on DVD. And these are usually ripped right off the TV. Like, a lot of times these bootleg-ass DVDs, you know, you get, like, the thing where it's like, and we'll be right back, and then the commercials aren't there, but it just cuts back to, and now we're back, kind of thing. Like you're getting something generally somebody taped off of the fucking TV and chopped the commercials out and put on a DVD. Now, that's fine when that's the only way you can get it. That's some other stuff. Oh, I got there was an on-aired Wonder Woman pilot for a possible TV show, and the pilot just never got aired. But it was starring the chick that plays Commander Kelly in the Orville. She was playing Wonder Woman in it. And a lot of the special effects weren't even finished and all, but the unaired pilot got leaked, and I got that on bootleg DVD too, just to see it. But anyways, I got him Tales for the Gold Monkey on bootleg DVD. And again, you couldn't even get it in stores. So, that's the sort of thing I generally do for Christmas shopping. So that's why I'm generally done in like September, October at the latest. I am almost every year in my entire adult life have I been done before Black Friday. Again, do a lot of the shopping in the summer. Oh, by the way, some of you may be wondering why Luke is not here this week. I gave Luke the week off because while I guess I could take the starting soon down. Boy, I'm a retard. While I do love having Luke here for the images, OBS and Hangouts do not want to work together on the same. I just do not want to both be running at the same time. I'll have to adjust settings on OBS or something. I haven't had a chance to do that this week because I'm not entirely sure how, so I have to sit down and figure it out. Plus, I'm kind of retarded, so there's that. But I just was like, you know what, Luke? I'm just going to give you the night off. Take the night off. Enjoy your weekend. I'm back on here next week, hopefully with with those lovely, lovely images that he finds. $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Steve, from Steve's Jerky. And he says, thanks for the free shout out. Thumbs up. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, like I said, I'm usually done by October or something. The best advice I can give you shopping for, and I realize a lot of times, you're shopping for family and you don't know what the fuck to get them. And I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to act like I don't just get gift cards or something for people if I don't know. But yeah, I don't really, sometimes you don't know what to get somebody. It's fine. You get them gift cards or something. I get that. But, try. That's the problem. A lot of people, they just don't even try. And I know a lot of people, it's a hassle and stuff, but I love this time of year. Genuinely love it. Huh. Apparently, Steve's Jerky, he got a free super chat from YouTube. Sometimes they do that. They give you free super chats. Like, you can send money to people, but it's not costing you anything. I don't know. I wonder if he has what is it? Like a Google account? Or not, like a YouTube Red account or something? I think that's where you get the free super chats. All right. Sorry, folks. Somebody's sending me a text there. I need to check it out because I'm very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. Steve says I do have Red. Yeah, you get free super chats with Red. So, enough bullshitting about Christmas. A few things to actually talk about this week. First, let's take a look at some debate stuff, shall we? Because there was a Democratic debate. And I want to take a look at, I don't know, maybe there were a couple this week. I don't fucking know how they're doing it. But let's go ahead and go into Windows Capture. And we'll just mess around with this size a little bit. I don't know. Fudge around with it. And we're going to watch Tulsi and Pete Buttplug, I believe his name is. They had an exchange this week. Tulsi Gabbard, again, the only electable Democrat on that stage. I mean, look, you can make an argument for Bernie. You could have made an argument for Yang before he sort of fizzled out. But the rest of them, none of the rest of them are going to beat Trump. Could beat Trump at all. Tulsi is their most electable candidate by a wide margin. I would argue their only electable candidate. And they hate her. They hate her guts. Part of the reason it fascinates me, now look, part of the reason it fascinates me is because, Tulsi Gabbard got a bit of a MILF. Bit of a MILF, if I'm being honest with you. She could be president of my penis any day. But it's not just that. I was a big fan of Ron Paul back in 2008 election cycle, back in the 2012 election cycles when he was running. And in my humble opinion, a lot of people would fight me on this, but I believe, especially in 2008, Ron Paul was the most electable of all the Republicans in a general election. Now, it's not that Ron Paul's positions were all very, very mainstream. Most people don't know what the Federal Reserve is, even to this day. A lot of his positions were very radical, but he was the only anti-war Republican. And the anti-war sentiment, I would argue, is the single biggest factor that got Barack Obama elected in 2008. The single biggest problem McCain had was everybody had this simple question for a Republican: how are you not like Bush? Because everybody, Bush was insanely unpopular. How are you not like him? That picture of McCain hugging Bush at his birthday party that they threw around that campaign in 2008, that haunted him. Ron Paul was the only electable Republican in 2008. Again, not because most of his positions are mainstream, they're not. Or that they're popular, they're not. But his war position was. And Ron Paul being anti-war is the very reason that the entire Republican establishment, both the RNC and Conservatism Inc. in the media, was vicious against him. Now, the parallel here is that Tulsi Gabbard is the only genuine peace candidate on the Democrat stage. I know, ironic. What was it, 10, 15 years ago, the Democrats were all about anti-war? Not sure what happened there. But she is the only peace candidate on that stage. And the DNC and much of the Democrat, Progressivism Inc., whatever you want to call it, the mainstream quote-unquote Democrat media companies, they all despise her. There's a tweet recently from George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek. Hello. You may remember him as the least interesting part of the original Star Trek show. But he had this tweet recently where he's like, stop dissing your not preferred Democrat candidate. All that's doing is helping Trump, the real enemy. Except Tulsi Gabbard. You can still call her out. It is amazing to me watching Democrats viciously attack. Again, I would argue their only electable candidate. Let's see. So we're gonna watch Tulsi and Pete Buttplug. They had a little bit of an exchange. This is 7 minutes. This is off of her. I can't get the a more direct feed than this without us watching the whole fucking debate. We're not doing that. So let's see. This is on Tulsi Gabbard's channel. So obviously she's gonna pick the moments that make her look best, but I don't think that it's hard to find them. So let's go ahead and play this.
I have a lot of respect for the vice president. He has sworn me into my office as a hero. This week I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. and
That's actually a good line. Biden is maybe the least electable person on that stage. I know people think, oh, he's moderate. That's going to appeal to swing voters. No, it's not. Nobody likes him. He's not moderate. He's boomer, is what he is. All of his takes, they're just boomer to the core. In the worst way. That's a great freeze frame I had there for a second. You're looking at the audience. Yeah, you get it?
Because marijuana in our country is already legal for privileged people. And the war on drugs has been a war on black and brown people.
If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus, the only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate, a whole range of people.
No,
my point
that's
is
not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. The first African-American. So my point is...
But I want to get back to Pete Buttigieg and his comment about experience. Pete, you'll agree that the service that we both have provided to our country as veterans by itself does not qualify us to serve as commander-in-chief. I think the most recent example of your inexperience in national security and foreign policy came from your recent careless statement about how you as president would be willing to send our troops to Mexico.
That's ridiculous. I hadn't heard him say that. I just wanted to comment real quick. I like Tulsi's gray streak there. Her fucking rogue from X-Men gray streak there. Because you don't go gray like that. Okay? That is very much to be photogenic. That is very much she wants to look a little more mature, a little more presidential. You don't go gray like a fucking comic book character, like Mr. Fantastic with a little bit of gray just above his ears on both sides. No, human beings don't do it that way. I like that. We'll leave the little streak of gray there. We want to look a little bit more distinguished. I see what you're doing there, Tulsi.
To fight the cartels. As commander-in-chief, leader of our armed forces, I bring extensive experience serving for 7 years in Congress, on the Foreign Affairs Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, on the Homeland Security Committee, meeting with leaders of countries around the world, working with military commanders of different commands, dealing with high-level national security briefings, understanding what's necessary, the preparation that I've gotten to walk in on day one to serve as Commander-in-Chief.
Congresswoman, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I'll allow you to respond.
I know that it's par for the course in Washington to take remarks out of context, but that is outlandish even by the standards of today's politics.
Are you saying that you didn't say that?
I was talking about U.S.-Mexico cooperation. We've been doing security cooperation with Mexico for years, with law enforcement cooperation.
You know what would make it so we didn't really need to do a lot of that? Some sort of barrier between our countries might make it so that Mexico's lack of fucking security is a lot less our problem. That's just a little wild idea of mine.
And a military relationship that could continue to be developed with training relationships, for example. Do you seriously think anybody on this stage is proposing invading Mexico?
That's not what I said.
I'm talking about building up alliances. And if your question is about experience, let's also talk about judgment. One of the foreign leaders you mentioned meeting was Bashar al-Assad. I have, in my experience, such as it is, whether you think it counts or not, since it wasn't accumulated in Washington, enough judgment that I would not have sat down with a murderous dictator like that.
Congresswoman Gabbard, let me allow you to respond.
They really don't like the fact that she talked to Assad. Also, do you think there's any fucking political leader in Mexico that isn't a murderous son of a bitch?
You were asked directly whether you would send our troops to Mexico to fight cartels, and your answer was yes. The fact checkers can check this out. Oh. But your point about judgment is absolutely correct. Our commander-in-chief does need to have good judgment. And what you've just pointed out is that you would lack the courage to meet with both adversaries and friends to ensure the peace and national security of our nation. I take the example of those leaders who have come
She just chopped his balls off right there. I fucking love that. Oh, so you're saying you're a pussy?
before us. Leaders like JFK, who met with Khrushchev, like Roosevelt, who met with Stalin,
Like Donald Trump, who met
Reagan,
with Kim.
who met. Like Reagan, who met and worked with Gorbachev. These issues of national security are incredibly important. I will meet.
He looks so salty there in a second ago. Can we get? Well, actually, that's a fine pose too. He looks he looks so bad. Yeah, I know she looks like she fell asleep there, but you catch someone in a blink. He looks so mad. You know that kind of mad where your mouth gets kind of small. You just sort of pursing your lips together. He looks so mad right now.
With and do what is necessary to make sure that no more of our brothers and sisters in uniform are needlessly sent into harm's way fighting regime change wars that undermine our national security. I'll bring real leadership and experience to the White House.
I don't agree with the wealth tax the way that Elizabeth Warren puts it. But I agree that we need to raise the estate tax. We need to tax capital gains.
This guy looks legitimately bad shit to me. Like I know hell of a freeze frame there, but just like looking at him, just his eyes as he's talking. Yeah, this guy seems just a bit unhinged. Like, yeah, he dunked on Biden a little bit there, but come on, that's pretty fucking. That's pretty low hanging fruit. I think didn't everybody get a slam on Biden at least once per debate?
Ordinary income, real strategies will increase revenue.
I think I caught on to what it. He doesn't look like he's looking at you. Like he looks like it's not cross-eyed. What do they call it when like cross-eyed is when your eyes like both like they're pointing kind of towards your nose. Both his eyes are like both pointing away from his nose. I don't know what the term is for that off the top of my head. Sorry, I'm an ignorant public school kid, but like the opposite of cross-eyed, I guess. He looks like that. Like, are you okay, dude? Did you hit your head before this?
But here's the challenge. We as Democrats need to fight for a just taxation system. But as I travel around the country, we Democrats also have to talk about how to grow wealth as well.
So let me just tell you what we can do with that 2-cent wealth tax. 2 cents on the top 1/10 of 1%.
Gonna buy some fire water?
And we can provide universal child care for every baby in this country.
You know what? You know what would free up some cash for whatever bullshit you were going on about there, Warren? I have a plan that would free up. You know what? Let me look up the exact number. I want to say 2.3 billion. But let me real quick look up the exact number there, Warren, for you. Real quick. I want to make sure I get this exact. For whatever dumb shit you're free child care or something, because that's the thing we need now. Maybe just don't fucking have a kid if you can't afford it. How about that? They sell condoms at the store. But let me check real quick. Okay, so crap. Not getting a number here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I have a plan. Now stay with me here. This would save us a whopping $3.8 billion a year. You don't have to raise taxes on one single American 1 penny. Are you with me here? Sound good? Sound good so far? Okay, so here's the plan. We stop being Israel's pay piggy. Sound good? $3.8 billion a year. That's some walking around money. I'm just saying.
0 to 5. That is transformative. We can provide universal pre-K for every 3-year-old and 4-year-old in America. We can stop...
Do we really need to put 3-year-olds in school? Like, how... What is with these Democrats? The kid isn't even off the titty yet, and you want to yank him away and throw him into the public school meat grinder.
Exploiting the women, largely black and brown women who do this work, and we can raise the wages of every child care worker and preschool teacher in America. We can put $800 billion new federal dollars into all of our public schools.
I'm just saying, $3.8 billion we can save right off the bat. Right off the bat. Not one American has to pay one more penny in taxes.
We can make college tuition free for every kid. We can put $50 billion into historically black colleges and universities, and we can cancel student loan debt for 95% of the folks who've got it. 2-cent wealth tax, and we can invest in an entire generation.
It's unfortunate that we have someone on the stage who is attempting to be the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, who during the Obama administration spent 4 years full-time on Fox News criticizing President Obama.
That's
who
ridiculous,
has spent full
Senator
time,
Harris. That's
who has spent full time criticizing people on this stage as affiliated with the Democratic Party. When Donald Trump was elected, not even sworn in, buddied up to Steve Bannon.
I'm just kind of wondering if this goes where I think it's going to go, because, like, well, Camille, didn't Tulsi already escort you out of the fucking picture a couple weeks ago?
To get a...
I love the smug Pepe look on her face there, too. That's a perfect freeze frame. Tulsi looks like the fucking smug cat in the meme where the woman's yelling at the cat.
Meeting with Donald Trump in the Trump Tower, fails to call a war criminal by what he is as a war criminal, and then spends full time during the course of this campaign, again, criticizing the Democratic Party.
Congresswoman Gabbard, I'll give you a chance.
It's a primary. Like, are you really going to act like everybody out there isn't knives out for everybody else? It's how primary works. Got another super chat there. We'll go ahead and real quick take a look at that. Oh, Boogie sends $5. Thank you very much, and says babies in school means they only need to dig tunnels under the public school and not all the. I'm sorry. Babies in school means they only need to dig tunnels under the public schools and not under all the daycare centers. I'm gonna pretend like I don't know what that's referring to. What were those called? The takers or something? Medicare did a big long stream on all the FBI stuff that got declassified on that. But anyways, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the Samoan femdom brutalizes mulatto chick.
Harris is doing is unfortunately continuing to traffic in lies and smears and innuendos because she cannot challenge the substance of the argument that I'm making, the leadership and the change that I'm seeking to bring in our foreign policy, which only makes me guess that she will, as president, continue the status quo, continue the Bush, Clinton, Trump foreign policy of regime change wars, which is deeply destructive. This is personal to me because I served in Iraq. I left my seat in the state legislature in Hawaii, volunteered to deploy to Iraq, where I served in a medical unit where every single day I saw the terribly high human cost of war. I take very seriously the responsibility that the president has to serve as commander-in-chief, to lead our armed forces, and to make sure always, no, I'm not going to put party interests first.
All right, so that was old Tulsi there. So we got some other stuff we're gonna watch. Sorry, getting messages there. All right. Let's see. We're probably gonna watch some, maybe go through some Daily Wire shit. That should be fun. Because who doesn't love a little conservatism, Inc. Let's see the COPPA stuff. The going all over YouTube. I want to talk about that a little bit. So if you have a YouTube channel and you have any content up, you may have seen that you got all these messages where you needed to you needed to set your channel as either for kids or not for kids. Hence the title of tonight's stream. And so the problem with that is, see, if you're for kids, you're gonna get not targeted ads for your ads, which means you'll get roughly 10% the ad revenue. Because YouTube was illegally collecting data on minors for, supposedly at least, for the purposes of, targeted ads. Well, now what's going to happen, if you're for kids, you're going to be looking at roughly 10% the ad revenue that you were making. Not 10% less, 10%. Yeah. Your ad revenue will be decimated. Now, the problem is, okay, you could say, well, just make your channel not for kids. Most people are, producing content, not specifically for kids. The problem with that is you get these FTC regulators, these fucking boomers that don't know shit about pop culture. They don't know shit about internet culture. They don't understand any of that shit, And they don't understand that there are adults that like to play video games. There are adults who are into animation. There are in cartoons. There are adults who are into, comic books. There's adults who are into toy collecting. And there are channels geared towards those hobbies that are not made for children. I'm sure a lot of you have your specific gaming channel you love, maybe more than one. It's obviously not made for kids. Doesn't matter, because some FTC bureaucrat, at least the way it looks now, is going to just slap you with a fine. Say, no, your channel is appealing to kids, and you lied about it, so here's a fine. Arlo is a channel I watch. It's a guy who does a lot of video game stuff, mostly Nintendo stuff. And his shtick, he never actually appears on camera. He appears as a little blue puppet. That's the character in his show, basically. It's a Muppet-looking little blue monster puppet. And his stuff isn't for kids, quote unquote. It's more geared towards adults, but I guess you could kind of call it a family thing. But it's not just for kids, obviously. He did a video talking about all this, and he's like, am I fucked? And yeah, Arlo, you're fucked. You're very, very much fucked. A lot of people on this site are fucked. You're the little blonde girl on the couch kind of fucked. Now, this is a case where the government is stepping in, and you're going to get a bunch of out-of-touch government bureaucrats. This isn't so much a case where it's YouTube's fault. But ultimately, this is something that if it goes through the way it's looking, it could destroy YouTube. I know YouTube's had a million crises, this will take it down kind of things. This is something I don't understand, I don't understand how anybody can function on this site, if that's the way it goes. especially the guys doing the hobbyist shit. Like they're just absolutely fucked. You know. You know, Pixel Dan is another channel I watch, and he does some. I don't watch it that often, but he does some toy reviews I've checked out. Oh, that's a toy review, so he's gonna get nailed. Or, you know, Phalis, another channel I enjoy. The Bootleg Zone. That's a great show he does on there. Oh, it's a toy review, so it's for kids. No, it's not. I remember years and years and years ago, I want to say this was 02, 03, Cal Thomas was still on Fox News. And there was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like, it was like a Barbie doll got made that was in lingerie or something. And, you know, like a lot of different toys, especially ones that have been around for generations, Barbie has a line of, at least then, I don't, is it even still making Barbie? I don't know. But it had a line of stuff specifically for adult collectors. You know, there was the joke on The Simpsons of Smithers was a collector of Malibu Stacy dolls. Yeah, there are adult women and even men, I suppose, that are Barbie collectors. You know, there's collectors for all sorts of shit. And Mattel realized that after a while and started putting out, you know, more premium for adult collector items. And one year, it was like, I want to say it was like Christmas, and she was in like Santa styled lingerie or something. I don't fucking remember exactly. But it was something where Cal Thomas, this fucking boomer, gets all up on like, you know, I can't believe they're selling this sexualized Barbie doll to children. And it's like, Cal, they're not. Like, I don't know what to tell you there. This is, you know, it's in their quote-unquote premium line where it's, you know, I guess it has better sculpts. It's more expensive. It comes in a fancier packaging, whatever, you know. But it's not made for kids. It's made for adult collectors, you know. And you never know with something like that, you know, because this was on Fox News and all back in the day. You never know if, like, is he just trying to fill a segment on his show and he just needs some outrage porn? Or does he genuinely not understand that, no, this thing that you think is for kids isn't for kids? Remember back in the day with The Simpsons? Again, if you're my age, you know, fucking Zoomers don't remember this, but, you know, The Simpsons was edgy as fuck, supposedly, when it first came out. And everybody was up and running. But The Simpsons wasn't really made for kids. That was the point. It wasn't really meant for that. And you're going to get these bureaucrats, and they got no idea about any of that kind of shit. They got, you know, and you could get nailed just innocently. Let's say you have a channel. Imagine this scenario. Imagine you have a channel where you just review movies. Like, that's your whole thing. You don't even show clips. You go see at least one movie each weekend. You sit down in front of the camera and you give your thoughts on it. Just that simple. But you've been doing it for a while. People, you know, respect your insights, and you have a following, even on this simple premise. Well, let's say this weekend you go see Frozen 2, because that's a new movie out this weekend, isn't it? You know, Frozen 1 was a big deal. You go see Frozen 2. It's the big movie this weekend. And you sit down and you do a video specifically on, this is a review of Frozen 2. Your channel isn't meant for children. Your channel is for film buffs, for people that want an idea whether or not this movie's worth seeing, whatever. Not meant for kids at all, but you're reviewing a kid's movie. So, you know, some bureaucrat scrolls through, somehow stumbles on your video, sees a fucking thumbnail with Elsa and the fucking snowman, whatever his name was, and the other girl, I don't remember. And it's like, well, this is for kids. And they didn't market for kids. So, boom. And, you know, with these bureaucrats, you're guilty till proven innocent. That's always how it goes. And if you've dealt with the IRS, you know that. You're guilty till proven innocent. That's not something people can deal with. You know, most people on YouTube aren't making a lot of money. You know, even the people that are managing to do it for a living are not making a lot of money. So even if they don't have to pay the fine ultimately, the legal fees of having to defend themselves alone could ruin them. So yeah, a lot of people have talked about this. It has the potential to really fuck over a lot of people. And I don't know what to tell you. You know, this website might actually go down. If this goes the way it's looking to go, then that might be the end of YouTube. And maybe that's not a bad thing. You know, I certainly have nothing really kind to say about the tech monopoly, so I'm not going to sing the sad song for them. Speaking of tech monopolies fucking people over, Medicare, everybody. So Medicare recently, we've covered this on here before, but he got demonetized on YouTube a few weeks ago because of quote-unquote duplication. He was using too much of other people's stuff. But the interesting thing about that is he had no videos on his channel at that point. So, you know, YouTube was lying. They demonetized him because they didn't like him. Well, it's call it collusion, call it herd think, but these tech companies always seem to move in a herd, don't they? Patreon threw them off here this week for hate speech. What you have here, we've talked about this before, it's not just the political aspect of it. Like, that's part of it, sure. But we've seen, you know, recently we covered all the gay channels on YouTube were getting demonetized too. It's because it's not just a political thing. It is it's a sanitization. See, all this comes down to, in my humble opinion, is they just want everything corporatized. They don't want anybody to be independent. They don't want anybody to be able to go out there and make their own way. You know, the entrepreneurial spirit of YouTube, as it were. They don't want that. You know, they don't want any critics out there that are saying anything other than don't ask questions, just consume product and be thankful for more product. Someone in the chat brings up an interesting point. There was $4,000 in Medicare's account that they were not giving him until he re-enabled his monetization. I don't know how that is legal. It is not. You can make these faggy cucked arguments about it's a private company, do what they want. Well, you know, wherever you work, Anon, that you're listening to this, they're a private company too. And they could fire you the next day you go in. Be that tomorrow, be that Monday, whatever. They could say, you know, you're fired, you're done here. But you know what? They still have to pay you the amount due for the amount you've worked that they haven't paid you yet. You know, the Revenge of the Cis guys were talking about, you know, that they got demonetized and YouTube's sitting on $3,000 of their money. $3,000 plus, according to them. So yeah, they're thieves on top of it all. And you know, all this stuff all put together, you know, if there was like a class action lawsuit or something, it might constitute grand theft. I don't know. You know, it's not like any one of these people together could, I don't know, maybe a lawyer could class action lawsuit this shit. I'd love to see it happen. But anyways, what I was getting to is they want a corporatization of the internet. They don't want any of us to go be the next Doug Walker or the next AVGN because they want you to be some sort of corporate wage slave. They don't want anybody to make their own way. They don't want any critics out there that aren't corporate owned, you know, yay for the new Disney Star Wars kind of shit. They don't want any of that either. That's ultimately what a lot of this censorship is. It's a little myopic to just consider, well, it's censorship against political thought. Because again, it does hit the far left too. Not as much, obviously, but it does. You know, because the far left is much more useful to the establishment than the far right. But when they're not, and they get thrown under the bus. Steve's Jerky sends $5. Thank you very much for the super chat, and says, so they're basically turning YouTube into cable TV. Yes, exactly. That's what they want. They want to just turn it into TV. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't watch TV anymore. Because TV fucking sucks. It used to be good. I used to enjoy it, but it's not good anymore. Handful of shows here and there worth watching, sure, but for the most part it sucks. I would much rather watch Phalis joke about a shitty bootleg Ninja Turtle toy he bought on eBay than 90% of what's on fucking television. That's the state of television right now. Yeah. They want to turn it into something that's dead. And I don't really understand why they want to do that. But that seems to be what they want to do. And we have a sponsor tonight that we're going to go ahead and check out. So our sponsor this week is the good folks over at Asshole Consulting. Now, life is full of people who lie to you. Your teachers, your guidance counselors, the media, the Democrats, and of course boomers, and also the folks at YouTube. This puts any young person at a huge disadvantage in life as they're simply not living in reality, and all the effort they put into life is basically wasted. Worthless degrees, student loan debt, horrible careers, horrible love life, horrible finances. But that can change with the help of the world's only truthful consulting, Asshole Consulting. At Asshole Consulting, they plain don't give a shit about your feelings and just give a shit about you. It starts with the cold, hard, harsh truth. No lies, no pretty fairy tales, no follow your heart and the money will follow. Cold, hard truth. Unfortunately, truth comes at a price, and that price is $100 an hour. Thankfully, since Asshole Consulting specializes in truth and doesn't give a shit about your fee-fees, they can be direct, blunt, and honest, and above all, quick, which cuts the average consultant down to about $40. Check out my good friend Aaron Clary's site, www.assholeconsulting.com, if you need a swift kick in the ass and not some namby-pamby pussy therapist who is never going to tell you the truth anyways. That's assholeconsulting.com. All right. So there's our sponsor this week, the good folks at Asshole Consulting. And what else did we want to talk about? So I had these articles set aside, and it's like, okay, so earlier in the week, Chick-fil-A. Earlier in the week, Chick-fil-A announced that they weren't going to give money anymore to anti-LGBTQ plus elemental P charities. You know, they were just going to give money to help the homeless or something. And then they sort of backpedal from that, like, you know, because all their fucking, you know, Christian fans were like, hey, no, you, that's not cool. And then they're like, okay, well, maybe we're back. Here's where I sort of am with this. I'm kind of tired of it all. Like, don't you just get fucking exhausted with this shit sometimes? You know, like, why does my decision to eat at Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes have to be some fucking stance on butt sex? You know what I mean? Like, this is exhausting. Okay? You know what my decision to eat at Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes is? Well, what time of day is it? Because, see, Popeyes is generally better. Popeyes is better food than Chick-fil-A. I'm going to be honest with you. When Popeyes is banging away on all cylinders. But when it's like too much of a rush or too dead, and you get the employees at Popeyes are terrible. Popeyes' customer service is fucking awful. Awful. It's just fucking terrible. Their consistency is awful. Their consistency from store to store is awful. Their consistency within a store from day to day is awful. Popeyes just can't get good people. I think Chick-fil-A must pay them better. They certainly treat people better. Popeyes just has terrible fucking staff. That said, though, if you were to say, Bechtloff, we have a Chick-fil-A meal, and this is made by the best damn Chick-fil-A employee ever, or we have a Popeyes meal, and it's made by the best damn Popeyes employee ever, what are you going to choose? That's going to be Popeyes 10 out of 10 times. Now, Chick-fil-A, you can't beat the service at Chick-fil-A. And the food is good. The food at Chick-fil-A is pretty damn good. It's not Popeyes good. At least when Popeyes, at least when you're getting good food at Popeyes, you're not getting the tenders that sat under the heat lamp for 17 fucking days or something. But Popeyes food is better. Chick-fil-A service is way fucking better. Holy shit. Now there's the other problem that tomorrow is my day off for the week. I worked today, folks. I worked at the box factory today. I worked at the box factory Monday through fucking Friday. All right. Guess where I'm not going for fucking lunch tomorrow, though? I can tell you that much. I don't know what my lunch plans are for tomorrow. But I can tell you where I'm not fucking going. I'm not fucking going to Chick-fil-A. 3 guesses as to why. The first 2 don't count. And I'm sorry. I know this is a religious stance, and I gotta take issue with this bullshit. Being closed on Sunday is fucking gay. All right? Blue laws in general are fucking gay. Oh, but it's the Christian thing to do to close on Sunday. Is it? Is it fucking really? Because it's funny. I read the Bible. I know. Some of you Catholics are like, what's that? Well, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing you guys. But I read the Bible. And I seem to recall Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, being very adamant that you should not be an autistic, legalistic retard about the Sabbath. I seem to remember him taking that stance. So here's a little lesson on the Sabbath, folks. You know why the Sabbath fucking exists? All right? Because for most of human history, we live in a very special time. Very wonderful time in many ways. But for most of human history, life was about surviving, not thriving. I am sitting here wondering where I will eat lunch tomorrow. Not if I will eat lunch tomorrow. And I'm not even rich. I'm lower middle class at best. If not upper poor. Life was about surviving back then. And you could very easily work yourself to death. And that's not something human beings are designed to do. So God said, hey, you need to chill out on this 1 day a week. You need to chill out, all right? Just relax, all right? Just chill out. 1 day a week. Don't work. That is the main purpose of the Sabbath. Yes, there's the honor the Lord parts of it. But, you should be doing that every day. No, the main purpose of the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Those are the words of God incarnate himself. So the purpose of the Sabbath, so you don't work yourself to death. Now, I don't know about you. But I don't work 7 days a week. I haven't worked 7 days a week basically at all in my life, except for 1 month. 1 month back when I was like 20, 21, some shit. And I was still working like no, it was like 20. And I was still working like a shitty job at fucking Pizza Hut or no, Burger King. I also worked at a Halloween show called Jason's Woods. I did that a few years on and off over the years. Great fun being an actor there. But I worked 7 days a week for that month. More than that month, because it was the first week in November and the last week in September also they ran. So I worked those weekend days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I had to work my other job every other day. And working 7 days a week for like 6 weeks was fucking exhausting. Never again. Never again am I doing that. And while I've had many a time in life when I've had to work 6 days a week, I have not had to, well, I had one job that was kind of shitty where I sort of worked 12 days in a row, then I had 2 days off, so I technically had a day off, whatever. But it sucks. It sucks. Most people don't have to do that. Most people, you're getting a day off a week. It's going to happen. All right. Now, here's my position. When it is my day off, I like to go out and get a motherfucking chicken sandwich. I like to go to the retro game store, the comic book store. I like to go somewhere, and if I need to do some shopping, do some shopping. I like to go to the fucking grocery store because it's the one day a week I can go to the fucking grocery store. The one grocery store in my area wasn't open on Sunday for a while. They were a local mom and pop stop. They recently got bought out by Giant, and now thankfully they're open on Sundays. And God bless that fact, because now I can actually do my grocery shopping tomorrow. So yeah, I am vehemently against blue laws. Because I don't want to sit at home with my thumb up my ass on my one day off a week. I want to have some fucking fun. Oh, all those people got to work Sunday. Well, then they can have another day off. How about that? How about they can have Saturday off? I didn't get Saturday off this week. But how about the people that worked? When I worked at Burger King, I always worked Sundays because nobody else wanted to work it. And I could usually get Saturday off, which was nice. I had Wednesday off and a lot of times Saturday. Senegal Chief sends $2, says, "Don't blue laws ban boycotting Israel?" No, those are different laws, which are also bullshit. No, blue laws are referring to stuff being open on Sunday. Technically, in the state of PA, we have blue laws on the books that nothing's supposed to be open on Sunday. At least back when I had civics class in high school, a million fucking years ago, nothing was supposed to be open. We have blue laws on the books that are mean nothing's supposed to be open on Sunday. But those fines haven't been adjusted since like 19 fucking 40s or 50s. So those fines are like nothing. So it's basically just this small little tax that no real business is bothered by, but across the whole state is a chunk of revenue that the state government doesn't want to give up. Christensen in the chat says, "No blue laws are no work on Sunday except things like police, fire." Well, here's the thing, though. What is essential? Couldn't you argue the grocery store is essential? I mean, the grocery store is part of the infrastructure. And again, so some poor schlob like me who works hard 6 days a week doesn't get a chance to go to the grocery store? You know, what about gas stations? I mean, motherfuckers who work on gas stations, they got to work on like Christmas and shit. So yeah, I am very much against blue laws. Oh, but they'll have to work on Sunday. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Couple of super chats. Thank you all very much for that. Steve's Jerky sends $5 and says, "Hurry up and get to 100 so you can cash in before YouTube finds a reason to ban us all." I'm at last month, I guess. So that this month I will not cash out this month because I'm only at like 85. So I'll certainly get a cash out next month unless they steal it from me. I don't fucking know, but I don't think they will. I'm kind of small time. I don't think anybody's coming for me. And Senegan Chief sends $2. Thank you very much. Best chicken sandwiches from a truck at Dollywood. I had Popeye's chicken sandwich, pretty damn good. The one complaint I have about it is, and this could just be the specific Popeyes, I was at, but the piece of chicken was way too thick in the middle. It wasn't a piece of chicken that belonged on a sandwich. You know what I mean? It was like they just gave me this fucking giant ass piece of chicken. It was very awkward in the sandwich. That said, though, it was a couple of pickles, had a really good sauce with it. I guess it's called a po' boy style or whatever. I enjoyed it. It's a good chicken sandwich. So he says Chester's is absolutely delicious chicken. You have terrible taste. Chester's is shit tier chicken. All right, get yourself woke on the fucking Popeye's chicken. All right. Oh god, Popeye's chicken is Popeye's chicken spicy tenders. Oh, the cayenne pepper through it is amazing. But what the real good shit at Popeye's is, and nobody gets it because it's technically the healthier thing, so everyone thinks it must taste like shit or something. But the blackened chicken strips. Oh God, those are so good, and they're so much spicier than this good spicy. Oh man, those are so great. Oh fuck yeah! There didn't used to be a Popeyes in this area for a long time too. When I was a kid, I lived down in a little town called Waldorf, Maryland. Fucking Waldorf, Maryland, represent. And Waldorf had tons of restaurants, and there were a couple of Popeyes there. So I was eating spicy ass Popeyes food as a little ass kid. Well, I moved up here to PA back in like late '98, and there was no fucking Popeyes in this whole county. I actually introduced my high school buddy, who's still my best friend to this day. I introduced him to Popeyes because we were heading to some, I can't remember. I think we were heading to like a comic book store in York, the next county over. And we were like, we should look for somewhere to eat. And as we're driving by, I see a fucking Popeyes. And I mean, like, it's, I catch it as we kind of go by it, and I was like, holy shit, that's a Popeyes. And I mean, I'm like, screeching U-turn. Like, fuck yeah. And my friend's like, you try to get me killed? I'm like, it's worth it. He's like, I ain't never been to Popeyes. I'm like, you sit your ass down. I'm gonna order for us. All right, you sit down. You don't you worry. Get them spicy tenders. Back then it was called the confetti sweet. Oh, what was it like? They had a sauce back then that was really good. I think they got rid of it. It was like confetti sweet and sour or something like that. It was basically sweet and sour with like red pepper flakes in it. I was like, sit down. And he took a couple bites of it. He was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Steve's Jerky sends another $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that. And says, last free one. Here you go. Well, thank you. Thank you for using your free ones. Senegan Chief says, Sheetz isn't that bad for late night food. Only restaurant in Ellsbury, PA. I love Sheetz. Sheetz is some of the best late night food you can get. Somebody asked if I like Louisiana dishes. Yes, I do. I'm not huge on like the crawfish and shit they got, but like I love Ouija. No, I love Louisiana style cooking. I just tend to get it more with like chicken and shrimp. You know, I'm not big on like stuff like catfish and crawfish and gator and stuff like that they got. But getting back to Sheetz. Sheetz is amazing. True story. A couple years ago, I went to my aunt's for Christmas dinner with my dad. And God bless my aunt. I love her to death. Love her to death. She's not even actually my aunt. She's one of those, you know, like you have somebody so close to the family, they are basically family, but they're not blood relative kind of thing. Well, that's my aunt. That's my one aunt. Actually, she's Jewish, believe it or not. But I know. I just lost all my alt-right fucking fans. But anyways, God bless her. Love love my quote unquote cousin. You know, he's my age and all, but not really my cousin, but I grew up with him. He's my cousin kind of thing. She's a terrible cook. She is a fucking terrible cook. Love her to death. Love her to death. Terrible cook. And I don't particularly like a lot of that country kitchen type shit they serve for Christmas dinners generally, you know, in this country. And she kind of messed it up by her own admission that time. So I just sort of was like being polite, like, oh, I had a lot of like cookies and snacks earlier. I'm really not hungry. So, you know, we have the nice evening and all. And on the way home, you know, I make a left when I should have made a right. And my dad's like, where are you going? I'm like, going to Sheetz. He's like, why? I'm like, because I'm fucking starving. So I went to Sheetz and got a big old chicken quesadilla with some cheese fries. That was my Christmas dinner. Somebody says, I tried Gator and loved it. I had Gator. A friend of mine had that at his wedding, actually. Because he's a big oddball kind of goth guy. And he just wanted to have a bunch of oddball kind of weird exotic meats. And I tried Gator and I was like, I didn't care for it. He's like, what do you mean? It's just like pork. I'm like, well, there you go, man. I don't particularly like pork that much. So he says good things about Wawa. Wawa's all right, but it's no Sheetz. It's no Sheetz. Even the Turkey Hills around here now have the made-to-order food things in them and all, and they're fine. They're no Sheetz, though. Somebody says Denny's isn't terrible 3 a.m. food. No, IHOP's a little better, but Denny's is pretty decent. I used to hit the Denny's a lot with my one buddy. Because we were both on like third and second shift all the time. So, yeah, we'd hit the Denny's a lot. Somebody said, have you ever tried Friedies? Nope, I don't think we have that around here. All right, what else are we going to talk? But, okay, so we got on all this because it's like, look, at the end of the day, man, it's like I go to a restaurant and I want a chicken sandwich, all right? It's like, then I just want a chicken sandwich. I don't want to make a statement about climate change or butt sex or abortion or any of that. I just want a fucking sandwich. Can I just have a sandwich in peace? Like, I don't give a shit. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, Chick-fil-A could be like, you know what? We're totally pro-gay now. And I'm like, fine, just make my fucking sandwich. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I just make me. Can you get my fucking order right? Like Burger King with our Pride Whopper. How about you take pride in for once not getting my order wrong? Okay, Burger King. Can you do that? Could you take pride in not fucking up my order? Like, just stop. I'm so tired of. You know what else it is? It's like, even when they fucking agree with you, it's like you're just being pandered to. You're just fucking being pandered to. Even when they agree with you. It's like, well, I'm going to eat at Chick-fil-A because I'm a Christian and they don't support the butt sex. And Popeyes, I guess, is all about the butt sex. Oh, that's lovely. But what's a better food, though? You know? I just want some food. I don't want to. Can I take a lunch break from fighting the culture war? Is that fucking possible? Is that maybe a thing we can do? I just want some chicken. It's just fucking. Like, literally, when Popeyes came out with a chicken sandwich, okay, it should be like And, you know, I love a little rivalry between brands. You know, I love that. I love that a competition brings out the best in businesses. I love it. But then everybody on social media had to make it like, well, no, I like the Chick-fil-A sandwich because I'm a good Christian boy. Well, I like the Popeye sandwich because I don't support homophobia. Which one fucking tastes better? It's like nobody even asking that anymore. Well, I don't support. I don't care. I'm so exhausted with it. Just make my fucking sandwich. Oh. Somebody says Chipotle is probably the only hipster food I'll eat. Chipotle's nasty. I had Chipotle one time, never again. It's fucking disgusting. You know what's great though for Mexican food on that kind of quality level, where it's not quite like, you know, shitty Taco Bell, but it's not quite a really nice restaurant. Moe's Southwest Grill is fucking fantastic. Never had a bad meal at Moe's. And you know what else? I don't know who the CEO of Moe's is, and I don't know his positions on abortion or gays or fucking our foreign policy or Israel or any of that shit. All I know is that I get a damn fine quesadilla at Moe's. And I got the free chips with really good sauces. That's all I know about Moe's. It's all I want to know about Moe's. Ah. Place in this area that I absolutely love, and it's going to be a long time before I can talk the old man into getting back there, because he actually got food poisoning there when there was all the problems with the spinach. But I don't even hold that much against him, because everybody was having problems with spinach, and look, sometimes shit will happen at any restaurant. But there's a place here called Plaza Azteca that is a bit more high-end Mexican food, and I like to get this thing there called the Piña Loca. It's basically half of a fucking pineapple. It's like hollowed out, and then there's chicken, steak, shrimp, a bunch of veggies like onions and peppers and shit, and then chunks of pineapple, all like chopped up and in this like pineapple hot sauce, and served in a fucking half of a pineapple, and it's fucking awesome. It's fantastic. It's a bit pricey. Like, not super, super pricey, but it's like, you wouldn't eat there every day kind of thing. But yeah, love that place. Love them. Moe's, though, I could eat Moe's like every fucking day. It's just the Moe's are in this county are a bit far. I mean, they're not super far, but they're not close. You know what I mean? Let's see. Somebody says, Chris, is it true if you eat a Taco Bell, you will fart while on live interview? Oh! You just reminded me. Maybe you were talking about it. I don't know. We got to watch this. I know what we got to watch. Okay, hang on, folks. I'm going to find it. Don't worry. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have a laugh. I want to see the camera. Remember? Heart. Okay, so.
Chris, so far, the evidence is...
All right, hang on. Okay, so this is one of the guys running the fucking impeachment circus on Trump. Which, by the way, regardless of what you think about Trump, this is stupid. They got nothing. It's retarded. Like Democrats. Let me talk to you for a minute here. Let me level with you. And I know I got one liberal listener. I know I got one. I know you're there, B. Let me level with you here for a second. You're doing this all wrong. Okay? You might actually win if you could stop being assholes for like 3 seconds. If you could stop acting like fucking lunatics about everything. Okay? Just throwing that out there. I know you're not going to take my advice, which is why it's funny to give it. But, anyways, so here we have a nice interview. He's going to talk to Chris Matthews here, who looks like he's dead in this still. That's fantastic. But here we go. This is Representative Eric Swalwell. Okay.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans...
Oh, that's so childish, Bechtloff. Why do you think it's so funny? Because it is. Because it is.
All last week was that you don't have anyone who heard the call. Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans all last week...
Now, okay, so some people are out there trying to say, like, MSNBC was like, no, he didn't fart. That was a noise from our end or something. No, it's not. Okay. What you heard there was someone moving their coffee cup too close to the mic. No. What I heard there was somebody farting. I don't know what to tell you. Like he clearly shifted his weight. He clearly farted. and look, you could be like, everybody farts. It's not fair that ruins his political career. Well, life's not fucking fair. I don't know what to tell you. You think it was fair that, what was that guy's name in 2004? Howard Dean, where he did the fucking yell where he sounded like a retard when he yelled, like, yeah! Like, they just fucking played that. Rush Limbaugh's just fucking making that a soundbite every time. Like a morning zoo soundbite, like, yeah! That's not fair. Too fucking bad. I don't know what to tell you. But it's okay, Eric. You could probably be on the Daily Brap. Oh, Lordy. All right. So let's watch another video, shall we? I want to watch. Kanye West has a new gospel album out, because Kanye West is a Christian now. In fact, according to Kanye West, he's the best Christian ever, possibly better than Jesus. But Kanye West, like any good Christian, he decided to hang out with Joel Osteen. Because, that's who you want to associate with. So, we have not live, but straight from Lakewood Church, we have Joel Osteen and Kanye West. Having a little chat. So, let's go ahead and get back to Windows Capture. And Cynic in Chief sending a super chat. It says, read the Babylon Bee article about Kanye and Osteen. We'll take a look at that at some point, probably. Now, real quick, let's talk about Kanye West for a second. Because the thing about Kanye West, in my humble opinion, I believe his problem is that he's a bright man. Kanye West is a pretty talented man. He's a pretty bright man. Power's a great song. There's no denying it. But the problem is it's like he grew up around a bunch of idiots in probably some shitty black public school, and he's convinced, because he was smarter than all them, that he's a fucking genius, right? That's his problem. But let's hear about his conversion and stuff like that. Let's hear what him and Joel have to say. Our good buddy Joel. You know, I say what you will about Joel. Still would take him over James McDonald. Just saying. Pretty sure Joel Osteen's not going to try and put child porn on your computer. Okay, right away I'm pissed off. This is not a church. This is not a church. And I'm not talking about the aesthetic, by the way. Are you fucking trad cats? Like, yeah, it's not a church. It needs an older building and more candles. No, fuck off with that gay shit. I'm talking about the size. As far as I'm concerned, churches should grow like amoebas. Not amiibos, not the little Nintendo toys that unlock stuff in your game. No, amoebas, those little single-celled organisms. When a church grows to a certain size, it should split. It should split. Another church should be planted somewhere, I don't know, at the other end of town or something. Because this is not a church, okay? Joel Osteen's not a pastor. And you know why? A pastor's supposed to be a shepherd. If you don't at least know the name of everybody in your fucking church, maybe you don't know them all that well personally, but at least know their fucking name, then you're not a shepherd. So right away, this is not a church. Also, from what I understand, because Kanye was there, they sold the front few rows there were tickets for those seats, $500 a piece, which is disgusting. All right.
Hey, everybody, come on, let's welcome Mr. Kanye West today.
Oh, it's gonna be lit. I want to go back in time to 2009, right when Kanye was doing that I'm gonna let you finish shit with Taylor Swift, and I want to interrupt both of them and be like, people, I just came back from 2019. One of these people has a gospel record out. And one of these people is stumping for the Democrat Party. And you'll never guess which ones.
Awesome to have you. All right, guys, y'all can be seated. So awesome to have you at Lakewood and just feel blessed. And all right, guys, y'all can be seated. And Kanye was so kind to come for tonight's Sunday service, and when I heard he was coming, I said, man, you got to come on Sunday morning, at least say hello to the people. So here we feel blessed to have you, Kanye. And
I just got to take a minute. Joel Osteen looks like I'm casting a crooked preacher in a really cheesy, hammy movie. Like, this man looks like he's white makeup and green hair dye away from being the perfect fucking Joker. All right? Like, forget Jack Nicholson. Forget Heath Ledger. Forget Joaquin Phoenix. Or however you pronounce his gay fucking French name. I'm sorry, the German blood in me doesn't like pronouncing French words. Forget those guys. Joel Osteen as a Joker would knock it out of the fucking park.
for tonight.
Take note, Warner Brothers. Make that fucking happen, all right?
It's Sunday service, and when I heard he was coming, I said, man, you got to come on Sunday morning, at least say hello to the people. So here we feel blessed to have you, Kanye. And Kanye,
Someone in the chat said he looks like a poor man's Matthew McConaughey. He looks like Matthew McConaughey if he was dying of AIDS.
Just some thoughts, maybe. We've all seen, you know, something happen.
Kanye is so delightfully smug. I just look at him. Look at him. Kanye West is, he's such an asshole. He's such an unbelievable asshole. And yet there's part of me that just 9 times out of 10 finds him incredibly likable. Like, I can't even put my finger on why. It just He's like Bender from Futurama. He's like such an asshole, and he's so selfish, and he's such a shithead. But there's something kind of lovable about him, and you can't quite put your finger on it.
Happened in the last year or so, not where you were back then. Maybe you can just speak a little bit to the transition, and how are you here today at Lakewood?
He's such a douche. He's such a douche. He just radiates douche so much. I can't get over it. He's so full of himself.
Well, I know that God's been calling me for a long time, and the devil's been distracting me for a long time.
That is no way to speak about your wife, Kanye. Okay? Like, look, I know she's a pain in the ass, okay, but you don't have to call her the devil.
And when I was, in my lowest points, God was there with me and sending me visions and inspiring me. And I remember sitting in the hospital at UCLA after having a mental breakdown, and there's documentations of me drawing a church and writing start a church in the middle of Calabasas. And even after that, I went and made the Life of Pablo album. I said, this is a gospel album. And I didn't know how to totally make a gospel album. And the Christians that were around were too, I would say, beaten into submission by society to not speak up and profess the gospel to me, because I was a superstar. So
he's a superstar. He's such an asshole.
But the only superstar is Jesus.
Oh, okay. I'm torn on this. Part of me thinks this is a grift, because like Kanye has not had he's lost his touch. He hasn't had the same commercial success or critical acclaim these last few albums. So I wonder if he's going like the Cartman from South Park route of, pardon me, like Christian music is the easiest, crappiest music in the world, so I'm gonna make that. And then part of me wonders if, like, this is a real conversion, but, like, look, we have this myth in Christian culture. You see, like, shitty Christian movies or something where, like, and to some extent, you could even trace this back to, I love A Christmas Carol. It's one of my favorite stories ever made, okay? But, like, people don't generally have those kind of 180s. Okay? Conversion, being saved, that's a in a moment thing. Sanctification is a different thing. So that's a gradual process. Sometimes so gradual it's like continental drift. You can't even see it with the naked eye. So like Kanye may legitimately be a Christian. He may legitimately be saved. And you know what? I hope he is. He's still an asshole. He's still an asshole. All right? That didn't magically fucking stop. I'm not going to say that God never does that. That God never just 180 somebody when he saves them. Just complete 180. It's just not generally how he works, all right? Far be it from me to tell God what he can and can't do. Not going to do that. But just not generally how things pan out. So part of me wonders if it's real. part of me wonders if this is an act, you know. But yeah, like, I'm not going to say his conversion isn't real because he's still an asshole. Because of course he's still an asshole. You know? Like, one of the most dramatic conversions in the Bible is Paul. Okay? Guess what? Saul was an asshole. Paul was still kind of an asshole. Like, he just sort of directed it in different ways at that point. Like, what was it? Was it Timothy or something? Somebody in the Bible Paul was like fighting with for no reason, some other believer. Like, he was still kind of a dick. That didn't magically stop. Somebody in the chat says, I don't know, he's with Olstein. That is the biggest red flag to me. The biggest red flag that that this is a grift and not real, is that he's with Olstein. Like, not that he's still an asshole. Because I'm not a child. I don't expect him to fucking Ebenezer Scrooge it and he's suddenly like the nicest guy in the world. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Generally speaking. Most of us don't have an Ebenezer Scrooge style conversion. You know, most of us, if we were an asshole before Jesus found us, at least right after he found us, we're probably still an asshole. You know, there's that old saying, it's like, my uncle used to ruin Thanksgiving with his drinking, but then he found Jesus, and now he ruins Thanksgiving with that. Because your uncle's an asshole. The problem isn't Jesus. The problem even wasn't really the alcohol. Your uncle's just an asshole. But let's hear Kanye. I'm sure the Lord is talking through him here, so the Lord's gonna lay down some fat beats through Kanye. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Lord. Don't strike me down. I mean, I deserve it, but please don't.
So as I sat there saying, you know, I'm going to make a gospel album, there were Christians that were there that were not. Excuse me, brother. I go into these streams of consciousness when I'm talking, and when you're speaking in the middle of it, it distracts me. I really appreciate the support, but I would like for everybody to be completely silent so I can let God flow through me as I speak.
What an asshole! Somebody back there, like, yeah. Excuse me, brother. I need you to be completely silent because God is speaking through me. You're such a dick, Kanye. Oh, you should have gone to a James McDonald church if you're that much of a fucking dick. This is a fantastic freeze for him. He looks like he just farted. Oh, God.
To you guys today. So, in the studio, and this studio, it's going to compare to places that you're in life where people tell you to quiet your voice and not talk about Jesus.
You just told everyone to quiet their voices. You fucking asshole.
Oh. You know, so loud, but everything else is so loud around us. When I'm in California or when I'm in Vegas, they got posters up advertising, you know, sex trafficking. Because if there's an advertisement for a strip club, that is advertising sex trafficking, because at the end of the night, when they close up, the manager says, how much traffic do we have? So,
Kanye, you can't pause for a reaction for the audience, when you told your audience to shut the fuck up. And no, I don't think a titty bar is necessarily sex trafficking. Okay, I'm sure there's a big old overlap in those Venn diagrams, but I don't think the circles are completely one in one.
If it's a man that's going through things with his family or going through things at work and he feels he has to go there, we all end up participating, whether it's the spirits that get advertised to us all the time. Alcohol is, they call it a spirit. So we get constant advertising.
Again, he's pausing for reactions when he told everyone to shut up. See, alcohol is a spirit. They call it a spirit, so it must be made of ghosts. Oh, Kanye, you're not as smart as you think you are, man. You got a bit of a Vox Day syndrome going on there. You got a bit of a Carl Benjamin syndrome going on there. You are not as smart as you think you are, my dude. Some dude Sam sends $5. Thank you very much for the super chat. The only way God can literally speak through you is if you quote the Bible word for word. Well, look, I'm not gonna say what God can and can't do. God can talk through Kanye West, or whatever. I'm not going to say what he can and can't do. That said, though, generally speaking, when someone claims that God is speaking through them, I'm inclined to think they're full of shit. That's just me.
Advertisement for spirits. We get constant advertisement for strip clubs and other things like that. But then we bring up the name of Jesus, we're told.
Kanye, I think that just might be the circle you hang out in. I don't see a lot of constant advertisements for titty bars. I think maybe because you're married into a family of literal whores, and maybe the circle you're running into is kind of more the result of that.
Be quiet that down. So even for someone who's professing God and saying this is going to be a gospel album, the devil's going to come and do everything he can to distract people from knowing how to.
Again, Kanye, don't talk about your wife that way. That's really disrespectful.
Fully be in service to the Lord. And all of that arrogance and confidence and cockiness that y'all see me use before, God is now using for him.
Yeah, I don't really think God likes it when you use a bunch of arrogance and cockiness for him. Just gonna throw that out there. He doesn't seem like he's a fan of that. Again, far be it for me to put words in his mouth. But, you know, got this little book over here. I've thumbed through it a few times. It's called the Bible. Y'all Catholics ought to pick it up sometime. Good read. I kid, but not really. But yeah, seems like what I'm reading that's not something he likes. From those opposing him or those in service of him, doesn't seem like he cares for that. Just throwing that out there.
Because every time I stand up, I feel that I'm standing up and drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm here in service to God, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
That's so good, Kanye. You know, Kanye, maybe one of the most powerful, I've heard a lot of your interviews, but maybe, can you speak into, you said you used to worship the God of fame and the God of some of those things, and that didn't fulfill you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, because it's presented to us on TV. There's a rumor I heard where someone had sat down with Sammy Davis Jr., and this is no, knock to his family, but I want to use a specific name that we know of because it's a celebrity name. We have these icons we use it. And he leaned in and said, you know, Satan is as powerful as God. And that is the mentality that people have a lot of times when they're in service to fame, money, manpower. You start to feel like Satan is the most powerful. And you start to feel like if you service God, that in life, it means you will not prosper. And the only way to prosper is in service to fame. And it, you know, it's like the devil stole all the good producers. The devil stole all the good musicians, all the good artists, all the good designers, all the good business people, and said, you got to come over and work for me. And now the trend, the shift is going to change. Jesus has won the victory.
That was some rambly bullshit. Like I kind of get what he's going for there, but that was some rambly bullshit. Somebody in the chat says, fame didn't make me enough money. I need the prosperity gospel now. Yes, exactly. God's going to make you some motherfucking money. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. I mean, he might, you know. I'm personally hoping he gets me that Powerball jackpot tonight. That'd be very nice. But I don't really think he's going to do that for me. I doubt it. Somebody says, felt like Kanye was this close to outing the satanic pedos, but then checking out. Well, that'll be a really interesting tell. I mean, Kanye, you probably know some shit, so maybe you put some cards on the table. That's all I'm saying. Maybe if this is a real conversion, you ought to put some cards on the table. Just throwing that out there. Well, I think this turned out to be a pretty good show. But I'm about ready to wrap this up. Yeah, we're not going to finish the Kanye thing. It just goes on. It just goes on. It's fucking exhausting. We got the gist of it. Okay? Kanye's up there sniffing his own farts. The end. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. Probably going to do something tomorrow night. And this coming week, might do something Thanksgiving night. You know, I don't know. It's got that 4-day weekend, so I'll definitely be doing some stuff. Somebody says more genuine conversion, Kanye or Roosh. Well, I don't want to really slam Roosh too much. I like Roosh, but Roosh is a genuine conversion. I wonder if he's more found religion than he's found God. Somebody says there's a lot of ads for strip clubs and other raunchy sensual ads when you drive around LA. That might be the case. I've never been to the old left coast, so I couldn't tell you. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, folks. If you enjoy the content I put out, please do consider supporting the show. We got the PayPal, Patreon, and Amazon wishlist. Always you can do just that, and you can support the show by checking out our good sponsor, Asshole Consulting. And like, comment, and subscribe. That's all great ways you can support the show. You know, pass this material around to buddies maybe that might like it. I don't know. You know, help a little Bulbasaur out. That's all I'm saying. So that's about all we got for tonight. Hopefully next week we'll be back with Luke once we figure out how to run Hangouts and OBS without my computer bursting into flames. And yeah, next Saturday, we'll be doing a regular show, probably doing more content than that over the 4-day weekend. And that's all we got for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for listening. Talk to you later. Bechtloff out.